How come one person gets these results and another gets these from the same work and diet? Genetics is one of the most impactful things when it comes to how quickly you can build muscle, as well as how good your muscles will look and what your ceiling is in terms of growth. Every single one of us has a different assortment of muscle genetics, and therefore different speeds of growth. In this video, I will show you the impact of genetics on your muscles so you can gauge whether you've hit the genetic lottery. And at the end, I'll also give you tips to help you build your muscles bigger and better looking, even with bad genetics. So how does genetics affect your muscle growth? One factor is your balance of muscle fibres. Some people's muscles are built more for endurance style training. For example, long distance running, which is more slow twitch muscle fibres, whereas others are tailored more towards power, strength and speed, which is more fast twitch muscle fibres. So people who have more of these fast twitch ones will likely build muscle and size faster than those who have slow twitch ones. The second factor is how your bones are made up, your bone structure. If you have a bigger bone structure, you are going to appear bigger than someone with smaller ones, even if they have more muscle. And the third factor is how your muscles are attached to the bone, your muscular insertions. This will impact exactly how your muscles will look and their potential for growth. Let's go into some examples of these, and be sure to test along at home. One of the most obvious and well-known genetic differences is with your biceps. Some people have longer biceps with lower peaks but less of a bicep gap, whereas some people may have shorter biceps with higher peaks but more of a gap. An easy way to find out what you have is to do the bicep finger test. Firstly, create a 90-degree angle with your arm and then see how many fingers it is possible to fit in between your bicep and your forearm. The fewer fingers you can fit, the fuller and longer your biceps can grow to. The more fingers you can fit, the bigger the dreaded bicep gap is. I personally can fit around 2 to 3 fingers, which isn't the best. Don't worry if you have a big bicep gap. There's some exercises I'll show you in a minute that will help you disguise this gap a bit. Another impactful muscle group that people see noticeable variation in is your chest muscles. When it comes to your chest, there isn't like a specific test like with the biceps, but there are some visual key differences. Some people will have longer tendons where your pec muscles attach to your sternum, of which may make it more difficult to build size in the center of your chest. Whereas some people will have larger muscle bodies in their pecs, which will make it easier for them to build more size on their chest. Additionally, many people will have asymmetrical pecs, or one pec may hang lower than the other. Subsequently, it may be harder to get both pecs looking as muscular as each other. I personally have this issue a little, as you can see here, as one side noticeably drops down lower than the other. As well as this, the shape of your rib cage can also affect how big your chest looks too. And the rib cage can also affect how your abs look. And moving on to the abs, some people with bad ab genetics will have a lower number of defined abs, whereas those with better genetics will have more. Of course, the visibility of these will mostly be down to your body fat, although genetics will play a big part in their final appearance. Another factor is the insertion points of your abs. If your insertion points aren't regular, it will make your abs look asymmetrical and uneven, and it might not look like it lines up together. Or your abs could be wider or narrower than others. You can certainly see here how the same muscle can vary massively due to genetics, and this will be the case for all of your different muscles, like calves, shoulders, back, triceps, etc. But are there some exercises that you can do to ensure that bad genetics don't ruin your physique? Generally, training and developing each muscle over several months and years will result in impressive muscle growth, and it will help cover the cracks of genetics. Specifically when looking at the bicep gap though, you need to ensure that you are building muscle around the gap sufficiently. Therefore, I advise you to train parts of your forearms alongside your bicep heads, and specifically the brachioradialis muscle, which is the muscle that connects between your forearm and your bicep. Some exercises I'd advise to use are the reverse bicep curl, dumbbell hammer curls, crossbody hammer curls, and pull-ups. Also, some wrist curls for forearms will help the development too. To see how you can effectively train the other muscles to hide bad genetics, or generally just to build size, check out this playlist right here. And subscribe.